Hello and welcome to University of Redlands. My name is Dulce Garcia. I use she, hers pronouns, and I'm an admissions counselor for the University of Redlands. I will be telling you a little bit more about the university so that way you can kind of learn a little bit more about the U of R. And if you have any questions, then feel free to connect with me as I'm the admissions rep for your area. So just a little bit about the university. We were established in 1907, so we have been in higher education for quite a bit of time. In addition to that, I would definitely say that one of the most important things that you need to be aware of the University of Redlands is that we are a private liberal arts university. And so what does liberal arts mean? So a liberal arts education is a well-rounded education. So what it seeks to do is to give students a liberal or broad perspective of the world. So our students have over 40 programs of study to select from. Some of the most popular will be business, biology, psychology, education, and music. Although those are not extensive, we do have other programs, but students will select their major, take courses within that, but still take additional subjects like English, math, history, science, so that they're able to have, again, that broad perspective. At Redlands, we do seek to educate our students in many ways, and some of those skills that we want our students to take on with them are going to be critical thinking skills, writing skills, interpersonal relationship skills, and the ability to conduct and present research, and finally being able to interact with other people. So with that being said, those are some of the skills that our students will be learning while they are on our campus. And so we'll just kind of go ahead and talk a little bit more about the university. So our mission statement says that we want to educate the heart and the mind of the scholar. So what this really means for us at Redlands is that we don't just care about what happens in the classroom, we also really care about what happens in a student's life. And so obviously academics will play a big role in what we are essentially putting first. Obviously academics will be most important, but educating the heart is equally as important as educating the mind. And so the heart will be all those things that we consider to be extracurricular or that are more aligned with the student's personal interests. So that might mean, again, maybe extracurricular, maybe some clubs and organizations that they join on campus. Additionally, with some personal interests might be their community service projects that they are aware of or interested in. And so our students are really amping up their transformation. We really hope that our students will learn from a transformative education, and that they will seek to be lifelong learners for the entirety of their life. So we are going to talk about Redlands in that way, educating the heart and educating the mind. So talking a little bit further about educating the heart. So this is, again, a little bit more of that social aspect, or maybe more extracurricular opportunities, although it is not solely based off of that, but it is going to tend to be more of the social life of the student. So really quickly, our campus is small. We have 2,400 undergraduates, but it is a pretty large campus space. As you can see behind me, it is a very beautiful campus. We do have 160 acres of land. So again, a pretty big college campus for our students with a smaller student population. We do have a lot of diversity, especially when you consider where our students are coming from. So our students are primarily coming from the state of California, approximately 60%. And the other 40% of our students can be identified as international and out of state. We do have students coming from about 45 different states in the US. So again, we do have a lot of opportunities for students to learn from others, meet different people with different backgrounds or beliefs. So therefore enriching our students' lives just a little bit further. In addition to that, we are primarily a residential campus. So what that means is that most students are going to have a residential experience, meaning that they will live on campus. Something very unique and special to Redlands is that we actually have a 4-year housing guarantee to match our 4-year graduation guarantee. So our students have the ability to stay on our campus for the full time as they are working on their undergraduate studies. Most students will take us up on that offer. Approximately 70% of our students do live on campus for the full time that they are students. So again, pretty unique and pretty special. We do have 14 different residence halls that you can select from. So there's many that you can choose from, and we can definitely help you find the right place for you. One of the major highlights of University of Redlands is all of our experiential learning opportunities. And so experiential learning opportunities are crucial to the Redlands education because those are those activities that allow our students to combine our mission statement together, which, if you recall, is educating the heart and the mind. So experiential learning opportunities allow our students to maybe learn something in the classroom and then take it with them and have an actual physical or personal experience with this particular subject. So one of the, I would say, or actually two of the most stellar experiential learning opportunities is going to be study abroad, which Redlands calls study away, and community service. So study away is really popular at University of Redlands. About 54% of our students will have an away experience, which is really impressive. The national average is in the high 20 percentile range. So Redlands is really doing the most to ensure that our students are having this really amazing travel opportunity while they are studying at our campus. I would say three of the most important things that you should know about study abroad or study away is that we do have over 100 destinations for our students to select from. So we have really an abundance of opportunities as to where our students can travel. We also do have our own castle in Salzburg, Austria. So if you've ever wanted to reside in a castle with about 20 to 25 students in your school, then I would definitely recommend the Salzburg program. The second thing to note is that we do have that 4-year graduation guarantee that I mentioned earlier. And for students who go abroad for a semester, they are still eligible to graduate in 4 years. So know that there's no additional time tacked on if you choose to have an away experience. The final thing is the financial portion. So for our students who are choosing to study abroad, there is no additional costs to tuition and room and board once you are traveling. So again, no additional costs. The only thing that families need to consider is the cost of a plane ticket and then any gifts or souvenirs. Everything else should be covered in a similar fashion as it was the prior semester. The second thing that I mentioned was community service. And so that is something that, again, is really special and very much unique to University of Redlands. We actually do have a graduation requirement of 80 hours. So our students must complete 80 hours of service before they graduate from the university. And one of the reasons why community service is a part of the educational perspective is that our students are learning things in the classroom, maybe having discussions or reading articles or talking about a certain thing with a professor, and then they're able to serve that community and maybe connect the dots amongst the things that they were learning about in the classroom and what they're actually seeing in person. So our students have the ability to think for themselves and to really come up with their own conclusions, in addition to just building up or maybe coming to terms with having a new passion or just finding out that you have that passion. So that is another reason why we add community service as a part of the educational perspective. Service is very important to University of Redlands. We do about 120,000 service hours every single year as an institution. So again, something very, very important to our campus and to our students as individual people. The final thing on this slide is all of the ways that you can be involved on campus. So we do have over 100 clubs and organizations that you can be a part of. Yes, that includes Greek life, and yes, that includes athletics. So if you're interested in either one of those, know that they exist on our campus. We're very competitive within athletics. We are a Division III university, and about 75% of our sports rank nationally. So again, very competitive in some sports. Additional to that, we are a very dynamic and very school-spirited university, and the evidence is all in our mascot, Addie. We do have our own live dog who serves as our mascot at the university, so I definitely recommend that you follow her on Instagram or her TikTok. Alrighty, so educating the mind. So Again, this is more of the academic portion of the conversation. So I did mention earlier a little bit more about the liberal arts and what that would entail. Another thing that's important to note about Redlands is our education would be nothing if it wasn't for the relationship that occurs between students and faculty members. So that relationship is definitely very integral to the Redlands educational experience. So our students do have the benefit of getting a personalized education, very intimate relationship with professors, and again, just some really great opportunities to connect with professors. So 3 points on that. The first thing is that we have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So that is a pretty small classroom experience, approximately 18 or 19 students per classroom. Additional to that, most of our classes will be lecture-based. So our students, excuse me, I meant discussion-based. So our students are definitely going to have the opportunity to ask questions, to engage a little bit further, and overall just be able to have the opportunity to connect with their professors and their peers. The second thing is the fact that our professors are our students' teachers. So at other universities, you may have some courses that are being taught by a TA or a GA, and at Redlands, that is not the case. Redlands really values that relationship once more. So our students definitely benefit from having their professors teaching the classes 100% of the time. So our professors at Redlands have their terminal degrees in their field. So you are learning from someone who has a PhD in your subject that you are studying at that time. So again, just some really great opportunities to note that your professors are accessible to you and that they are not some mystical being that you are not able to connect with. They are just maybe your favorite professor who you grab a cup of coffee with every Wednesday. So that's kind of that. The third point is that each student will get an academic advisor. Your academic advisor is your favorite professor within your major. So this person helps you select programs, different classes that you need to take in order to graduate on time, and then helping you with your, kind of your development as a student. So whether that be looking for some research opportunities or looking for some internships, whatever your passion or whatever your interest is, you can always count on your advisor to kind of help you find the appropriate resources for you. So again, our students really benefit from having this relationship. Although that relationship is not limited to just that one professor, a lot of our students tend to really hone in on that specific person, and that will be your person for the next 4 years. So again, really great connection building at the university. So this just highlights a little bit more of the research that our students have been able to do with our professors. Our professors do take undergraduates for research opportunities, so know that this can be you in the future. Then going into the Johnson Center for Integrative Studies. So at Redlands, you are able to build your own major. So, if you're interested in creating your own program of study, and if you're interested in naming that specific program, then definitely ask away about the Johnson Center for Integrative Studies. It is a living learning community based off of consensus and negotiation. So again, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead and ask us some more questions about Johnson. Alrighty, so admissions and financial aid. So some critical information is here on this slide, but again, any questions, feel free to connect with us personally. So we do have 3 different application rounds on 2 different dates. So early action and early decision are on November 15th, and regular decision is on January 15th. Note that early decision is a binding decision, so that means that you are applying with the intention of enrolling at the University of Redlands. So if you have any questions revolving around applying early decision, again, feel free to connect with me, and I'm happy to answer any and all of your questions. Redlands prides itself on a holistic review model, which means that our students will be admitted to the university based off of a lot of different things. And so those 4 major things are listed here. So the common application, that is how you submit the application to Redlands through the common application only. The Common App includes your list of involvements and your personal essay. So those are things that our admissions committee will definitely be looking at. The second thing is going to be your official high school transcript. So similar to other California schools, we are looking at 10 through 12 GPA. We are looking at what's considered core classes. So that's English, math, history, science, and a foreign language. Any courses that have a weighted GPA, so those are AP, IB, or honors, will continue to have that additional point. So our average admitted student has about a 3.7. That is an average and not a minimum. So don't be discouraged if you are not at 3.7. The third thing is a letter of recommendation. The letter of recommendation must be submitted by an academic instructor, so someone who teaches in English, math, history, science, or foreign language. If you have additional letters of rec, awesome, we would love to have them, but know that those are secondary and the primary must come from someone who teaches in the subjects that I mentioned a little bit earlier. And then finally, your SAT or ACT test scores. Redlands is actually a test optional university, so if you are interested in applying with your exam scores, or maybe you think that your scores don't necessarily represent you to the best of your ability, then go ahead and apply test optional. Redlands will neither prefer a student who does have test scores over one who does not. So really rest assured that we are not making our decision based off if you are submitting scores or not. If you have any questions about applying test optional or maybe submitting test scores, again, feel free to reach out to us so we can kind of give you a more personalized pathway. Finally, financial aid. So Redlands does have a pretty large sticker price, and so I will not sugarcoat that. That is very true. However, I will say that sticker price does not necessarily mean more expensive than not. For some people, Redlands is either the same cost or cheaper than a Cal State or a UC. So it just really depends on the student. Additional to that, about 94% of our students receive financial aid. So it's more likely that you will receive aid from Redlands than not. So keep that in mind as you are applying. Something that I will say for all universities and not just for Redlands is that if you keep finances at the top of your mind, even when you are at the applying stage, you might miss out on some really great opportunities. Finances are definitely very important and you should always keep them in mind, but don't base your application decision based off of the tuition sticker price, because it could be a very expensive option that later gets a lot of financial aid, making it more affordable, or it could be the most expensive option, but at least you tried. So I would recommend that you apply to a university if you like it and you feel like you can see yourself there, and then we can make financial-based decisions when we have a financial aid package later. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on that. You can see listed here all the ways that you can receive financial aid from University of Redlands. So the first way is through a merit scholarship. We do offer merit scholarships up to $31,000 annually, and it is renewable all 4 years, so long as you have a B average on our campus. The next thing is a talent scholarship. So you do need to be majoring in music, theater arts, creative writing, and studio art if you want to be considered. But go ahead and apply if you are interested in one of those 4 subjects. That department will let you know if you got the scholarship and in what amount. The final thing is your need-based financial aid. So need-based financial aid is probably where most people will get their financial aid money from. So it is based off of your FAFSA or your California DREAM Act information. So you would fill out the application that is appropriate to you, and then University of Redlands will be able to see how much money we are able to provide you with to support you in your educational journey. So that is pretty much it for Redlands and our overview. If you have any questions, please do let us know. We are happy to help and happy to answer any questions. You can definitely reach me at Dulce_Garcia1@redlands.edu. That's Dulce, DULCE_Garcia, GARCIA, the number 1 at redlands.edu. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to talk to you very soon.